Got it done. I shared all of them. I'm getting quick on the draw, James.
Nice.
It's good. It's Friday, man.
You realize people notice when we're not on?
Well, that's good. I hope.
Yeah, no, I'm saying it's good, but like it's not like we didn't go absent for like 3 weeks like we did, or a month like we did the last time. But somebody's like, hey, there's nothing on the SoundCloud. I noticed that there's no broadcast. I'm like, hey, geez.
Well, we hung it up. We've had enough of this stuff. We're done.
Stuff happens. Wednesday was pretty hectic. Had a very difficult, hard Wednesday.
You did?
No, I could try to lie. It wasn't shooting.
Yeah, was that your meeting?
Yeah, it was my meeting.
Yeah, because you're like, we have a meeting at 1, and then I'll see on social media you're shooting every gun available. I'm like, that was his meeting. Which is, you could have just said I'm going to shoot guns.
But that's not. I didn't realize that's what we were doing.
Oh,
I had an idea that might happen, but I didn't know I
got you.
I was actually going to look at a Cuban chain. It's a gold chain with a Cuban.
Well, I know what a Cuban chain is.
I'm just making sure that
but where are you shopping that there's Cuban chains and guns at the same place?
The only place that you could possibly go, a pawn shop. I could also get golf clubs. I saw a saxophone that I was very interested in. I haven't.
Oh, that'd be such a great segment
because I played the saxophone for people who don't know. I kind of want to get back into it a little bit.
I played the piano.
Really?
Yeah.
Man,
I got a piano in the garage.
Can you still play?
I haven't tried in years.
Yeah, that's what I'm afraid of. I haven't played in so long that I haven't played since I picked up a ball.
Well, I have the piano in the garage for the next week or two, and then something's happening to it. It's not moving with us.
I'm sure if you put that up, somebody's going to buy it.
Yeah. So if anybody's interested in piano, holler at me. If anybody's like an antique piano, I want somebody to come look at this thing because it's super old. And Angie's aunt had it, and they had a little bit of scratch. So I'm wondering if it's worth something. Yeah, I need somebody to come look at it. But before I sell it to somebody for a couple $100 and it's worth $20,000, which would be my luck. Anyway, it's Friday. It's the best Friday of the year because it's the Friday before Halloween.
Yep.
It's the Friday before Florida, Georgia. Like the weather's not great today, but it's going to be fantastic tomorrow. It's football weather in a lot of ways.
It's just so dreary right now, but I like it though.
But the thing about Jacksonville that's awesome on Florida, Georgia Day is you wake up on Saturday and it just feels different. Like it's just like, there's an energy. Like there's people running around. ABC is like going. ABC setting records. In fact, when I get done here, I got to train. I got a kid coming in from Savannah that I've got to train for about an hour and a half, 2 hours. And then I'm going straight to ABC.
Nice.
And ABC Fine Wine and Spirits. There's one on every corner in Florida. We got a buddy of ours from Indianapolis is in Florida right now. And he texted me the other day. He's like, good grief, there's a ton of ABCs. The only reason he knew about them is because our show. I was like, make sure you visit each and every one of them. Spread the love. So going to go by ABC. I'm going to get started. I don't know if I'm going to go straight whiskey to start the weekend. May do a little like vodka mixed drink to start the weekend.
That's fair.
And then switch to whiskey after the game tomorrow, perhaps.
Depends on how it goes.
Yeah. So, anyway, so Florida, Georgia week, we're going to get into that. There's another game, Florida State, Clemson. I didn't realize Miami was even playing. That's how unplugged from Miami I am right now. And I don't mean that as a slight. It's just, you don't hear anything about them.
Playing Pitt.
That quarterback now is getting a ton of attention. Kenny Pickett, we were talking about him a few weeks ago. He's really good, man. He's really good. I think he's going to be. He will not, like Mel Kiper's got him as the first quarterback taken. I don't think that's going to happen. I think Matt Corral will be the first quarterback, but he may be the second, third, or fourth. He may slip into the first round. Kenny Pickett, he's that good. So Miami's got their hands full as well. Jags go to Seattle in a winnable game all of a sudden, especially without Russ and possibly without DK.
DK's not?
He hadn't practiced. He got downgraded yesterday.
Oh.
I need him to play for my fantasy team, but all of a sudden you take those cats out and Jags could be riding a 2-game streak. So we'll get into all of that today. We were having a conversation off air, and before we started, So I'm going to the game tomorrow, but listen to me. I'm not saying that. I know I said Monday that I don't want to go to the game. I don't like drunk people, yada, yada, yada. Well, an opportunity came up. My son, my 10-year-old's never been. And so we're going.
That's good enough.
Okay. I don't want Florida fans to run with it. Earlier in the year, it was like, I'm going to go when Anthony starts. I don't want y'all running with that. Like, that's not, like, I'm scared to say it. And James was telling me, like, stop.
I mean, you have a way to watch games that normal people don't. Like, and I get it. Like, I wouldn't. Like, when I go to some, like, it's certain game or certain, like, remember when I went to the country music concert a couple years ago?
I remember, but I forget who it was.
Now that you said it, I forget who it was too. I've never listened to this music since.
Was it in Tampa?
It was in Tampa. It was before I went to go talk to it.
Kenny Chesney.
No, I know Kenny Chesney.
Jason Aldean?
No. Jason Aldean.
It was somebody good.
It was somebody good, and everybody was like, "Oh, you'll."
Oh, it was Luke Bryan.
Luke Bryan. Yeah, that's right. It was Luke Bryan. And I'm like, there's only one way that it's literally the only way that I would go to a country music concert. It was in the little pit thing, little pit area.
Mm-hmm.
If you asked me to go sit in the stands, I wouldn't go. Not doing it.
Right.
But where I was at, I've gone to multiple hockey games. Had a great time. But I probably would have never gone to the first one had I not gone a specific way. Now, this is a little bit of a stretch because you kind of like football and you like Florida, but
I really don't like going to games.
But you don't like people. So
yeah.
like the circumstances have to be right.
Optimal.
Right.
Yes.
Which eventually will spoil your kids.
I'm fine with that.
Because Trey won't go to a football. The only times he's ever been to a football game outside of even the FSU game he went to last, we were in the Champions Club. So it was
I'm fine with that.
He was prim and proper and all that stuff.
So, yeah, so I will be going to the game tomorrow. I'm excited about it for my 10-year-old. He's a huge Florida fan. This will be his first Florida-Georgia game. And so I'm excited. I'm excited to watch it. I don't know how the game's going to go. We'll break that down in a second, but it's always fun. It's always fun. Jacksonville will be buzzing tonight. So if you ever get the chance, if you haven't been, if you're listening to us and you're not in the Jacksonville area and you have not been to that game, it is a bucket list deal. You need to go. It's unlike any other game played during the football season. I think that's fair to say.
I mean, fair. It's a rivalry games are different than normal games anyway.
Mm-hmm.
But a neutral site rivalry game is like having a bowl game in the middle of the season. And
especially when that neutral site's been the neutral site for so long.
Right. And it's a tradition. And I think that's one of the cool things about the Florida-Georgia game is that it's not about the game is for the players and that does mean something. But like people have been going that Friday night every year, Thursday, Friday night, every year for generations. And no matter what happens, you can look forward to it. The best way to describe it is, for me, and for people who know me or grew up and never been to one, so I've been to a Florida-Georgia game before. It's HBCUs, in particular FAMU, they have classics.
Mm-hmm.
And so they play 4 home games. And they'll play, probably like 3 away games. And the rest of the games are what you would call classic. BCU, FAMU, or BCU, FAMU every year play the Florida Classic in Orlando.
Yep.
Used to be I went to that so much growing up. I remember when it was in Tampa.
Mm-hmm.
And then it moved to Orlando. It doesn't matter if both teams are defeated. People are going to the Classic every year. It's a big deal. Atlanta has a Classic. What FAMU played Jacksonville State in Miami. Now those aren't rivalries per se, but like it's still kind of cool. I
have a cultural question about HBCUs. Is it
Why not?
Permission to ask?
You won't know if you don't ask. Yeah.
So a couple weeks ago was Jacksonville State's homecoming,
right?
And they showed a picture of the stadium,
mm-hmm.
Packed, like 50,000.
Yep.
The next week they play at home. Wasn't nobody there.
Right.
So is homecoming?
Homecoming is the game.
Okay. So what is it about? Why do they get 50,000 for homecoming like nobody for any?
Which is why it's weird for me when I see people not go to PW. That's the thing that's, well, I can't say always been weird, because when I played at Florida State, all our games were packed. So I don't like, but it's still weird.
But you would agree it means nothing anymore, right? At Florida State, a homecoming.
No, it doesn't. It's like, because again, it goes back to this thing that we talked about how naive and stupid it is that people put so much expectations on something that only one person can win, that 130 teams are going after.
Mm-hmm.
But even more so, the conference championship, these things like that. Homecoming is something that is marketed, and it's a cultural thing, again, like Florida, Georgia, that it's embedded in you for if you're from there or if you've had family go. So even if you're not from Tallahassee or from the South, but let's say you had an aunt that went to FAMU and you're from Chicago, that aunt knows, like, this is the only time of the year she's going back to Florida, is to go to homecoming. And she may, your mom might come with her. They may bring you. And then what you're going to see is, and what you're going to encounter is, it's like a festival.
Okay, that's what I was going to ask. Yeah.
Bigger than the crowd. I'm almost certain, because every HBCU is like this. And even the Florida Classic is like this. You saw how crowded it was in there. I bet you it was just as many people outside of the stadium.
So it's the events. It's not just the game.
It's not the game. The game is just, if they could have called it anything. Mm-hmm. Like, you really could have, like, when I was in high school, we had we had homecoming, but we also had something called rebound, which was like basketball's homecoming game. And that was a big thing.
That's weird.
It is. But like, schools that only have,
it seems like they could have come with a better name.
Possibly. I don't know. Whatever. I don't know. Whatever. All I know is I was rebound king. That's all I know. You
were rebound king?
I was homecoming king, rebound king, prom king. They made a rule in my high school.
This dude.
They made a rule in my high school that you cannot sweep it anymore.
I have questions. This could go wrong.
And I went to
this could go wrong.
A historically white high school.
Okay, that's where I was going to go. How many African Americans?
It's funny. People get so mad about HBCU, but like, they call it PWIs now, predominantly white.
You went to the Hallmark,
but I went to. That's why I believe all white people live Hallmark movie lives.
I wish I did,
because I'm looking at school and they all look like Hallmark.
How many African American males were in your school?
That's a good amount. My high school. So my graduating class was like 130.
Okay.
So whatever. 30% of that had to be African Americans. No, excuse me, it was like 25%. The charter for my school, it literally had to be the makeup of what the state of Florida.
Okay, I don't care about the charter. I'm going back to the crowning. I'm back to that. So how many people were on the court?
I think it was 10.
10 people on the court.
Wow.
How many African American people on the court?
Oh, it was 2. Me and my teammate Elton Jackson.
Okay.
Everybody knew they were losing.
So you got some of the white vote.
Dude, I got the whole vote.
Okay.
It was like to be honest with you.
So you crossed lines.
Yeah. Yeah, I did. By that point.
You were like independent before it was cool.
At that point, again, when people see me now,
mm-hmm.
I'm literally been the same person. Like, I will listen to your conversation. I like learning. I like learning about other people. And that's,
I know you're taking this a whole different direction.
But what I'm saying is that's why I crossed paths. I would literally go hang out with the rednecks at lunch because they were interesting to me.
To go 3 for 3,
it was just at that point, like, it was just,
that's impressive.
It was just gonna I was going to win. I was the most popular guy.
So now, if you win homecoming king, you're not even eligible.
Nah, and if they're still doing it, but I remember, like, literally after that,
that's the problem with America.
They told me, like, no, like, nobody had done it before.
Well, that's the problem. That's a problem, man. Like, if somebody can win all 3,
I'm not gonna allow it.
Well, of course you are.
I'm okay with it, because nobody did it. That means nobody did it before me, and nobody's gonna ever do it after me. They should put I should have. The only reason I wouldn't want the picture, because technically it means, so I had this same, and my high school girlfriend on the other side. She was prom queen. She was homecoming queen. She was rebound queen.
And you all were together the whole time?
Just our senior year. She was gonna.
That is a Hallmark movie.
She's a phenomenal person. I'm not gonna say her name. Great person. Moved on with life. Amazing.
Well, I hope so. I mean,
but she had got mad at me when we broke up in college, and it needed to happen. It was just I experienced things that I didn't know.
So you cheated on her.
No, it's not just cheating. I went from having just the box that's outside the university, right, where Tallahassee, where it's black, Mexican, Puerto Rican. The Cubans don't really rock with us like that. They're and white and red, white, and there's the white is split up into redneck.
Is this why you're trying to buy a Cuban chain?
No, Cuban chains are just cool. But the point
I don't know if you were trying to like.
This is all I had access to. Jamaicans were black. Everybody else, you were just black. I went to college, and I had a chick. Her name was Cappy. She spoke French. She was Haitian. She was like, she was on the phone with her mom when I first tried to holler, and she was like, I said, I had never heard anybody speak French. And I'm like, I don't know what you just said, but say that back to me. So it was just.
So you cheated on her?
No, I left her. I just dropped her.
Oh, okay. So you left her before you.
No, when I got to college, I was there, met women like Cappy, saw other people.
He saw Cappy, called the chick, was like, look, this ain't gonna work.
Like, what was it? Like, what was the Harlem Nights? Hey, Richie, put your mom on the phone. Hey, Isaiah ever coming back home. And she went to Florida State. She was there, great person. But she was like, I felt like you used me. I told her, I said, no, what you did was you got your white high school movie.
Was she white?
No, she was black.
Okay.
But I'm saying your dream, you would have never got Homecoming Queen without me.
Oh,
you would have never got.
Why you got to do that to this lady?
No, what I'm saying is it was a good trade. It was a fair trade. We had a good thing going. We both did. I was getting those things. She wasn't as popular as me, and that's not. There's nothing wrong with that.
Sweet girl, and you're telling her that all of her dreams are because of you.
No, not all of them. I'm just saying that particular thing and the way she came.
Would you ask for her crown too?
No. I would never. She still had to win it. She had to put her name on the paper. She had to go through the process. She won it fair and square. All I'm saying is when people come up and ask me, hey, you want us to vote for her? And I'm like, yes.
She's still in Tallahassee?
Yeah, still in Tallahassee. I think she's a teacher. So, but yeah, it's just.
She has PTSD every homecoming now.
I don't think she goes to. I don't know. I don't know. I haven't even been to my high school homecoming. But I go back to, again, the point is that it's a chance for a lot of people to come back, and that's the only reason. And you're not really coming for football. You're coming to be seen. You're coming to see the people from your class. You're coming to see the people from other classes. And before, it still has, like, hip-hop has always been a big part of it. Music in general. So, like, you'll see, I remember you seeing Trick Daddy all the time, and I saw Trick Daddy so much in Tallahassee that he wasn't even he wasn't famous to me anymore.
Yeah, he was like,
he was just a guy that was he was just a guy that was at Foot Locker when I was holding up my line. Like, and you'll see a lot of famous black celebrities that will come, and so what happens with them when they see the money come, other people come, and it's just it's a like tennis, like they can't do it now, but I remember, mom being like, yo, we got to get, and my mom went to fam, but just growing up in Tallahassee, you knew, like right now, we won't, I was telling my father-in-law, he won't, but I'm like, hey, don't even go, because they're in Jacksonville. I was like, don't even go to don't, just wait till Tuesday. Don't do anything on the west side. Don't do anything. Just steer clear from downtown. Heck, even parts of this.
But why don't other cultures do this? Because it seems like fun.
No. I'm saying unless you want to be a part of that.
No, that's what I'm like.
But like when I would say is like Tennessee Street would literally become a part. Like
that's what I'm saying. Lot. So like this sounds dope. This sounds
phenomenal,
awesome. So why don't people outside of HBCUs do this?
You do. It's just different.
You know why? I'm going to tell you why. Because
we need more old people to die.
No,
I'm saying like it's the old people are the only ones who have issues with
No. I'm gonna tell you what it is. University of Florida right now lets in so many students from out of the country.
Mm-hmm.
They don't care about football. I'm not saying that's wrong. They don't care about football. They don't care about basketball. They don't care about any of that stuff. They don't care about homecoming. Homecoming for them is an 8-hour flight back across an ocean.
Mm-hmm.
Like we talk about, how stadiums, and by the way, FSU is not any different. Okay. Like before Florida, you start puffing your chest out and go, we're a top 5 school. And it's hard as hell to get in any school right now.
That argument is played.
Right. But it's like, we're in an era where they're talking about shrinking college football stadiums, making them, more corporate, stuff like that. Florida's about to do it.
So you do have it. I'm going to tell you how. It's just the football part is different. Here's why. And my son learned this too. My whole life, the only football I knew was FAMU until I went on a visit. Start going on my unofficial visits. The game happened, but you weren't really watching the game. And they were good. Even when they were good, when Quinn Gray and all those cats were there, like you ain't going there. You're going there to throw on your finest fit so that you can try to find a girl. Doesn't matter how old you are. Even me in middle school, for some reason, because I'm going to see other middle school girls that I know because everybody's family would go there. You're literally there for the first half. You could go to a FAMU game for free when I was growing up after the band played. You can walk in and see the whole second half.
Is it weird for the band to play at like these NFL stadiums in front of 65,000 white people?
No, because what you learn is that white people like this music. I learned this in training too. My man Craig, and he's corporate, but no, we have to play classic rock. I know that's how I know all the classic rock songs. Is because they would make us. But when they left one day, her name was Mary. She used to teach it. Her husband, she teaches at UNF. She said, James, I need something to get me going. Just can you play some 2 Live Crew?
I thought she was asking for cocaine. I was like,
she probably would. But she's like, can you play
2 Live Crew?
Dude. And when I tell you, it's so funny when I see people get on these this soapbox and rap music is vulgar and degrading. And I see that same person that looks just like that or their wife. When I put that music on in a workout session, man, they change. They know the words. They're working their ass off. They're getting out.
But I think you would agree that FAMU playing at a classic or at home,
they play different music too,
is much different for them than playing at an NFL game. Because we may like the music. I like the music, but it's not the same vibe.
The NFL game in general is a better example is this. It's where Deion's at. No, it's not. It's Alabama State. Alabama State played Florida State a few years ago. Real questions that I got asked. Like, man, this is pretty good. Like this band. They're moving, James. Then one guy said, hey, James, am I wrong for really liking the way those flag girls move? Dude asked me this on Twitter, and a guy comes
He asked you if he was wrong?
He's like, no, because it was moving. I think it was more so like, man, I ain't never seen nothing move like that.
Bro.
I gotta be jelly because Jam don't shake like that. It's stuff like that. And then I had woke young Alabama State student come in our thread where I'm over here reaching across the aisle to let somebody understand a culture.
Which is how you got 3 crowns in high school.
Which is exactly, this kid don't know nothing. They have names. They're the Hornets. And I said, hey, hold up, bro. Shut up.
Wait, they're the Hornets?
They have a name. They have.
Okay, I was going to say.
I don't think that's their name. I don't think that's their name.
Okay.
I'm going to be honest with it.
Okay.
I'm going to be honest with you. But they do have a name. Like the dancers have a name.
Right.
And I'd be like, listen, bro. Don't nobody give a damn about all that. What you just had was you had an opportunity. You had somebody asking about your little ass HBCU. And what you chose to do was go, they have names. No, you should have been like, yeah, man, them girls are bad. The Hornets, whatever they are bad. Man, you should come see this. Give them an opportunity. Instead, you caught up on dumb shit.
Bro,
but
listen,
to the point, I love it. It's influenced the Marching Chiefs because the Marching Chiefs hired a guy who was with FAMU's band, and they playing music that's a little bit more peppy and peppery than when I was there. Don't nobody want to hear Flight of the Bumblebee all the time. Nobody wants to hear Go Team Go. Here's what you want. If you have a band, doesn't matter what it is, black, white, no matter what, Irish, doesn't matter what. You have your fight song, like the Irish is whatever they do with the bagpipes. Okay. That's your fight song. Florida State, you got War Chant or the one that the true FSU fight song. Y'all can't play one of y'all's at Florida anymore, but I'm sure Florida has another fight song. And then after that, you play that a couple of times, man. If you don't go play some of these top 40 hits and let these people tap their toes, they ain't come, or they're gonna stop coming. That's the only reason. So when FAMU band sucks, when FAMU football team sucks, you're going to homecoming because there's one consistent that's always been in your life. The Marching 100 is going to be prepared. They are going to be good. They're going to do something
interesting to me. Like that whole dynamic is
food. You'll never there is no concession. There is no real concession stand.
Have they already had homecoming this year?
It's tomorrow. The problem is it's always Florida, Georgia.
That's poor planning.
There's no real concession stand. Nobody wants the hot dogs and the boiled peanuts. Now the nachos with the little pickled jalapenos, those are top notch. They do a very good job at FAMU. I know all of this stuff. I know how it's cooked because I've been around it since I was 9. What you want is the sausage man on the corner. Again, it's the only time you can actually say that. And nobody has to say pause. But you go to the sausage man. The sausage man has, and you want the onions.
Can we isolate that sound? What you want is the sausage man on the corner.
Right. It is not the sausage man like Hacker saw. It's not Hacker. We know he's a sausage man. But this is
the same sausage man's been slinging sausage since you were young.
This man been slinging sausage. Same. Mr. Johnny, the same sausage man been slinging.
Oh, God, I thought you were going to say Mr. Johnson. I'm like, if Mr. Johnson is out there slinging sausage.
Mr. Johnson been slinging sausage in front of Bragg. But nah, you want
to the Hornets.
To the Hornets. You want that. You want the fry. I don't eat fish, but you want the fried fish. It's the parade. Do they not have homecoming? I don't know if
I know. I'll skip that. Parades freak me out.
No, but I'm saying the band does it and people walk through and you're not going for that. It's the food. You just really are walking up and down and there's so much food that's different that you can't get anywhere else.
I want to go one year, but I'm not going to miss Florida, Georgia to do it.
You know what? It's just an amplified version of what a regular game is. So it's just not as deep.
I've been to an HBCU game.
No, you went to BCU a couple years ago. It's not the same. That's a private school that barely has anybody there. FAMU.
I've been to a FAMU game.
You've been to a FAMU
game?
At
FAMU, yeah.
Well,
I must have parked in the wrong place.
Homecoming.
I didn't park by Mr. Johnson.
It's also a thrill parking. Because
you're
parking in the hood.
You know what? Yeah. I went with a kid who was on a visit.
Okay, that's a different experience.
Yeah, you know what? You're right.
Like you're gonna park in the hood. It's gonna be the safest you're gonna ever be in that neighborhood at the time. That man or that family is going to guard your car with their life. You will not get in. It will not get broke into. There's for some reason the sugar that they use in their lemonade. It's like on the borderline of diabetes, but it don't take you there. It's just close enough that you can see.
You can sniff it.
You can sniff the cakes.
You start to lose sight in one eye, but it comes right back.
Right, it comes back. You go blind for 20 seconds. And the best apparel, and this is why I always tell FAMU where they messed up at, because that culture, it's great. And when you've bought 3 T-shirts for $10, now this was back in the day. It's a little bit more expensive. I think it's 3 for $20. Still, and it's better than anything that the university sells. And it's on campus.
Okay, let me ask you something.
Florida State, you can't sell a Florida State shirt.
This isn't even the way we were going to go, but that's what our show is. So is it because of all of what you just said, is it a slap in the face with what like Nike and them are doing right now with HBCU shoes and like all that kind of stuff? Or is that helping?
It actually benefits the school. It's something that I didn't. Because this is an argument.
Because they're dope shoes, by the way.
This is an argument that I'll have on my Facebook page often. Because, one, most people go to HBCU, they go 4 years, come back for homecoming. I literally grew up on an HBCU campus.
Mm-hmm.
Like my mom worked at FAMU, my godfather worked at FAMU. I'm going to class. I've done like my dad. That's where my mom and dad met. Everything I know is Orange Ave, South Side of Tallahassee. But I went to a PWI, Florida State, and what I learned is there was a time when racism was really, really rampant, and I'm not suggesting that there isn't.
Mm-hmm.
So you can look at the funding and a lot of this other stuff, and yeah, Florida is business now. Because Gaines Street, where you see College Town at right now, we all saw that be dilapidated my entire life.
Oh, really?
It was so run down.
Really?
My entire life, it was run down.
That little area is awesome.
Now it is.
Yeah.
They went and bought it. Somebody saw the vision, did that. And now what Tennessee Street is starting to look like is what Gaines Street looked like when I was growing up. It's not all the way there yet.
Yeah.
But you know what's going to probably happen when Tennessee Street gets run down? The boosters are going to buy it, and then they're going to do that. When I went to Florida State, they told me the goal was to make Doak Campbell Stadium the center of campus. There's only one way to do that. You got to push south. What is south of Florida State? FAMU. It's business. It's not. It is. I'm not saying that stuff in the past, but right now a lot of the movements are business. But when you look at what Florida State does, they control every aspect of your game day experience. University of Florida does that. Every other PWI. Unless you own a home that's around the corner, for 5 miles out, it's more than likely university property that you're gonna have to park on. You're gonna have to pay. If you are selling paraphernalia, you're going to get arrested or sued.
Yeah.
Like it ain't no 3 for $20 shirts at Florida State games. You're paying that. And the reason why that benefits is because every aspect of that sporting event goes to you. There is no sausage man on Pensacola Street. Like if you're going to eat, either there's going to be a tailgate that you pay premium for in parking. It's the Checkers, which is a restaurant, Checkers, Popeyes, and all that stuff, or your ass got to go inside the Doak Campbell Stadium.
Yeah.
Like every aspect of it. And the problem is all the fun aspects that I just talked about, outside of maybe a couple $100 fee that you're going to pay to put your food truck, which is basically what it's been, FAMU doesn't benefit from any of it.
No, I'm curious. So I didn't mean to get into this on this weekend, but
Nike pays them for that. All of this stuff goes to that. Like what ESPN First Take is doing, when they did it at FAMU, that gives them, and what ESPN is doing with the behind the scenes stuff for FAMU, those are all things. The biggest problem is HBCUs. You got to get your stuff together because you can't ask for stuff and then have, which I know you probably don't know, but people who, if you need to know, go look at what's happening at Howard University, which is terrible. Housing is like they got people with running water going through their dorm room. There's mold. There's all kinds of stuff. So when people start putting the eye on you and you're getting good stuff and you don't have your house and your books in order, that's when it gets worse. But anyways, it is a dope experience. I think everybody should go to at least one HBCU game.
I want to go to homecoming. Hey, get us to executive health, please, Miles.
I was just up there today.
Were you? I want to get to executive health, and then I want to get to Florida, Georgia, because Florida's going to need to man up a little bit here. Executive health and med spa, that's where you need to go if you're just not feeling right. Like that, I don't do a good job explaining this, but Dom, and I didn't get a chance, I just kind of saw it, I didn't get a chance to respond to it, shared a picture of us from we had our watch party.
Yeah, this probably looks a lot different.
Bro, we were large, man. Yeah, we were large. And what really changed us, and I don't think either one of us realized how much it changed us until you go back and you look at those pictures, was at the time it was ThinMD. Well, executive health spa is kind of the same thing, right? Like they got a doctor there, and it wasn't even just about losing weight. It was sleeping right. It was, testosterone levels. It was getting the right type of recovery in, all that kind of stuff literally changed both of our lives. And we both vary in weight. We'll go up and down 15 pounds, but we have never been close to what we were before we started going to that place. So if you're one of these guys that's going on a diet all the time, but you're always putting it back on or something like that, there's probably a deeper issue. Like you probably need to go to executive health and med spa, see the doctor there, have your testosterone levels checked, get a good recovery program. If you need help in the grown man's department, then they can help you there. That's a confidence now. Like if you can't sling the sausage, I mean, you're going to walk a little differently.
That's what Mr. Johnson been doing, man.
I know.
I mean, executive health. That's how you've been slanging sausage since I was 9. I'm 37. That's almost 30 years of sausage slanging.
It's a lot. It's a lot of sausage. Get to executive health and med spa. Make sure you tell them that the Sports Den sent you. Florida, Georgia, real quick, and then we got to get to our football picks. It's an uphill climb for Florida, and I think that's a pretty common thought that you've got the number 1 team in the country in Georgia coming in, who hasn't even had a close game. I was at that Clemson game. It never felt like they were going to lose that game. It was bad. It was ugly, yada, 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 but they were in control. Best defense in the country. I don't even think that's up for debate. They're giving up some stupid, like 4 points a game or something. It's funny. I was talking to a college coach yesterday, and I was talking about Jordan Davis, number 99 for Georgia. And he's like, listen, it's the college coach that played him. It's like, listen, that dude's good. He's good. But the other 2 cats are impossible to block because that dude takes up 2 to 3 people. You got to try to block these other cats one-on-one. And they got motors and they got skills. And the second level, if they decide to bring a linebacker, you're just screwed. Like, because their guys are better than your guys, period. And they're well coached defensively. They know how to line up. I say all that to say, I also believe, and I don't think I'm saying this with my Florida glasses on or even with my Anthony Richardson glasses on, I also don't believe they have faced an offense like Florida's. And I don't mean talent-wise, I mean schematically. I don't think they've faced a play caller like Dan Mullen. For all the crap we're giving Dan Mullen is an elite play caller, period. And if you say anything different, you haven't been paying attention. Dan Mullen went into LSU when they were number 1, and his play calling kept them blow for blow until the very, very end. He's done that several times. I think Florida can win this game. I'm not saying they will, but I'm going to give you the magic number, James.
Okay.
Here's what Florida fans, here's the number that you need to go to bed tonight thinking about. 2. You have to be +2 in the possessions, no matter how you carve it. So if you have a turnover, they have to have 3. And that doesn't have to be a interception or a fumble. It can be, they can muff a punt. You can hit them with a surprise onside kick. You have to have 2 extra possessions to even have a chance, because if it's possession for possession, if both teams end up with 0 turnovers, Georgia will win this game by 17, at least. But if you can find a way to get 2 extra possessions in this game, you have a chance. If you don't have a chance. That's the way I'm looking at this game. You can look at the defense. Florida's defense is bipolar, so you don't know what you're getting. You can get the LSU defense, and if you do, you don't have a chance. You can get the Alabama defense. Like, you can get either one of those. Like, if you get the defense that played against Alabama, you got a chance. If you get the defense that played against LSU, you can get run out the stadium. But you don't know which one you're getting.
Because I think Alabama schematically gave Florida a better chance because they want to throw the ball.
Right.
LSU didn't want to throw the ball.
Mm-hmm.
And Kirby don't want to do it either. So I think what we're going to see is, are they going to make some adjustments amongst the D-line if one of their guys is having a bad day? Because from what I was told, guy had a bad day that day, and they circled the duck and they kept going back and kept quacking them.
Didn't get any help from the second level.
Didn't get none at all. But it's just like, some of the guys believe that if they would have made a slight adjustment, it would have been difficult. Who knows? But I do know that's what Kirby likes to do. Offensively, here's what it really comes down to. Last year, you had Georgia lost, was it the best? We were saying like the best safety in college at that point.
Yeah.
That would have been able to hopefully do something that nobody else had been able to do. But at least slow down Pitts. because you had
Pitts wasn't the issue.
But I'm saying, but
Pitts got knocked out of the game early.
Oh, that's fair. I forgot about that. You're
right.
My point is, you also had a quarterback, Kyle Trask, who I believe saw the field better than the two guys that you have right now.
Remember what Mullen did last year? Mullen found their weakness, which was covering the running back.
Mm-hmm.
And they threw that little wheel route 5 different ways. And
they found it. They did it. I think that comes from guys who can scan the field quicker, can get rid of it. Now, this could be unfortunate and it could just be a de facto thing. But typically when you got 2 black quarterbacks or you got black quarterbacks, you're trying to zone read, you're trying to do all this other stuff. It's damn near impossible for you to do RPO and then look down to the check down at the running back. Like, it's either got to be drop back and do that. Now, does Anthony Richardson
say that different? Can you say that different? Seriously.
Did I say it that bad?
The way you said it was that they can't do it.
No, my bad. It's not that it can't be.
You're not playing to their strength.
You're not. That's probably. It's not. Put like this. I believe Ant or Emery can play exactly like Kyle Trask. I just like where you straight drop back. That's just not what you've shown, and that's not playing to their strengths. Right. It's not that they can't do it, but for you to try to do it in this game, it better work.
You're limiting them.
You're limiting them, and because you haven't given them the experience to be that. What I'm afraid of is you're playing 2 quarterbacks, which I always believe if you have 2 quarterbacks, you have none. Or you do go and you play Anthony Richardson. And something that Jaquez Green brought up a couple weeks ago, basically to the Florida LSU game, because everybody is like the offense was the problem against LSU. Not saying he shouldn't have played, but the offense wasn't the problem. The defense was the problem. But I've heard this before. The most popular person on a college campus is the backup quarterback. Mm-hmm. He's extremely popular right now because Emery's stinking it up, or looks like he's stinking it up, hypothetically. Mm-hmm. What happens when he comes in here and he doesn't live up to the expectations that we believe? Because for the first time, you're playing a guy who you beat last year and who really wants to make a statement. If Kirby comes up in here and drums you, where do you go back now? Because Florida fans do this, not just Florida fans, and I feel bad for trying to pick it. Just we're talking about this. I think it's society in general. You have this thing where you just can't say, I like Ant. I want to see where we're going. You have this thing where you have to hype one person up so high, mm-hmm. and you feel like you have to do that. You have to tear somebody else down. Because the beginning, I see it all, and I get to see it from a perspective of a guy who's not a fan. I watch it more because I am a fan of Anthony. Mm-hmm. I see people now saying Anthony should have been the guy the entire time, who were saying, no, Emery's the guy because Anthony can't do X, Y, and Z that they're saying he can do now. Instead of and then that's why you're getting into the situations with Dan Mullen. Like, you're mad at Dan Mullen when you were the one who said the same thing 3 weeks ago. Not you, I'm just saying the fan.
No, I got you.
So now you're putting this kid in a situation to where I already see it happening. If he doesn't meet your expectations or what your need to win so bad, are you going to crush another quarterback? Because what happens if, which it could be, and I don't think it will be, what happens if it's a 42-14 loss? So now are you going to go say, well, this is why Mullen needs to recruit 4-star and 5-star quarterbacks? When the fact is Anthony, I think, is better. And I think Anthony is truly everything of what people are saying. Mm-hmm. But I also know he hasn't had a situation where he's had to be the guy yet.
Especially against Georgia.
Yeah.
I think if you think that 15 coming in single-handedly is going to expose the best defense in the country, and you think 15 playing is going to put up 40 points, your expectations are the problem. It's not going to be his performance. Like, this is going to be you're going to punt a lot more than you're going to score in this game. You just have to hope your defense forces the same thing. And the issue is Georgia has this unique thing going on right now that I don't think I can't remember another college team. If they win a national championship, this is why. It's their defense is excellent, but it's this thing called personnel. And on offense, they run 12 and 13 personnel a lot. And when they do it, there's 3 tight ends who are absolute beasts, as good as anybody in the country, 5-star caliber guys that can block, create extra gap, but they can also catch really well. If you go and look at the distribution of the Georgia passing game, it's largely to the tight ends. How do you scheme that up on defense? Because you can't. There's no college. Maybe Alabama, but there's no college that is recruited well enough to have that many guys on defense that can both stop the run, take on a block, and cover. It doesn't exist. And so what Kirby has done an excellent job of is saying that's our strength. Stetson Bennett, he hands the ball off well. When I say that, people are like, what? Everybody hands the ball off. No, let me finish. Stetson Bennett, you have to sell out because of that 13 personnel. You have to drop everybody down. And so what that lends to is two things. One, the deep post, which Stetson throws really well. But the other thing it does is it's 3rd and 6 and they hit you with a bootleg and you've sold out. And Stetson's good enough athlete that he picks up 20. All of a sudden, they've run inside zone 15 times and you haven't stopped it. And he keeps it one time and he picks up 12, where JT picks up 2. You know, because JT, I'm faster than JT. Like that's the thing that Stetson brings with that personnel grouping. It's not just Florida's defense that worries me. It's the personnel matchup against anybody that Georgia plays, not named Alabama.
And the running backs that they have are just so many,
correct,
so different.
Yep.
You've got Cook, who is really a slot receiver.
Yeah.
So if he gets in a situation where, like, say, you know, they bring multiple backs in or whatever, and he's in the flat, say you put a corner on him, the corner got to tackle him. You put a linebacker on him, and they've been saying this since the beginning of the forward pass. The biggest mismatch on the field is a linebacker on a running back.
What if they swing him out in that 13 personnel? That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, I'm saying, like,
you got this big ass linebacker trying to tackle him. It ain't happening.
I like the linebacker got diabetes or whatever his name is, but he ain't guarding him.
Is he playing?
I don't know. I haven't heard much of him since.
Well, that's one of the issues happened last week.
And bigger than that, here's the other thing that. So everybody has a locker room. The culture. I don't believe in culture, locker room culture, and all that other stuff like that. Because if you're winning, it's not bad. When you're losing, it's all bad. Mm-hmm. And social media does amplify things. Jacob Copeland had a very interesting IG thing happen. And, you know, you can put questions on your Instagram.
I don't know what you're talking
about. Yesterday, somebody asked, you know, let me go find it so I can make sure I'm saying. I don't want to misquote him.
Okay.
Like, I could say what the essence of it was, but.
Well, I mean, I don't think anybody listens to us for exact.
Yeah, exactly.
Quotes.
And I also don't want people over here thinking I'm just being a hater on it. But the purpose, the point is that Jacob Copeland was asked, does he have any regrets?
Mm-hmm.
And his regrets being like being at UF, and he answered yes.
Was this the restaurant thing?
I don't know if it was about restaurant. I don't know what it was about. But the point is that you just, once that stuff starts to happen, like it shouldn't. Yeah. It shouldn't even. I don't even know why fans ask that one. Because you don't really want you only want one answer.
There are days in all of our lives where we regret a bunch of things.
And 2, as a player, man, it needs to be all smiles and Hallmark cards until it's not.
Well, so the whole point of my breakdown there, and the whole point of what you're saying, I think we're saying the same thing, is I'm not saying Florida can't win. And your argument about fans' argument about Dan Mullen not recruiting, that could be a legit argument this week because you're playing the top recruiting class of the last couple of years, and they've got so many guys.
Mm-hmm.
That's going to be an issue, and that will pop up. But the fact that even after all of this, that we can look at this game and we can say Florida can win, and the reason why they can win is because of Dan Mullen. Like, it's just a weird dynamic. Because the reason why they probably won't win is the recruiting difference in Kirby and Dan. And we went through all this last week. I'm not going to do it again. But the reason why they can win is because the coaching ability and play calling ability of Dan. It highlights exactly what the issue in Gainesville right now and the dilemma that not just administration has there, but us as fans have. It's like, how do we get this Dan, but able to recruit? And if you can ever figure that out, then you've got something. I don't remember none. I can't talk. Remember another Florida Georgia game that I'm more interested in than this one and how it plays out.
Could be fun. Like, imagine if this were the opposite, like of when Mark Richt won.
I think when they rushed the end zone.
Yeah, like you just started. Like that's what I would encourage, because I know you won last year, but nobody expects you to win. Like outside of your own fan base, the Florida fans are the only ones who.
Urban Meyer's troll the next year was epic, though.
Yeah, but it still was never as good.
I know you don't remember that as much.
Yeah. Yep. But like you go out there, like, but what happens is it's a game of momentum and emotion. Man, you score, go out there, get the fit.
You know why that'll never happen? You know why that'll never happen? I'm about to piss Georgia fans off. The perception inside the programs
fair
is that Florida's superior. Like that's the I don't know why that is, because Georgia's had more recent success. They got better facilities. It's the natties.
You got the natties,
right? I understand that, but it's a weird, man. It's a weird rivalry.
It's a weird era. It is actually, now that you say that, for the most part, they've owned you, not just but on in the facilities and recruiting and all this other stuff. And you do have the natties to hang over them, but only you care about that.
Oh, they care.
No, they do. But what I'm saying is, it's obvious that the recruits don't care.
Right.
So like the only people who have this smugness are the Florida fan. But the reality is, in every other aspect of it, they're kicking your ass.
Yeah, everybody's.
Yeah,
that's the thing.
But I mean, Georgia's not my rival.
But think about this.
Yeah,
it's a universal that everybody talks about 1980. It's not just Florida fans,
right?
It is it's Georgia Tech fans. It is universal.
I know, and I've learned about it more since I found out about this Big Three stuff on Twitter. And the only reason is because us, for FSU, Florida, and Miami, are minding our own business, talking trash to each other, degrading each other, and then somebody wants to come from the outside and try to chirp, and then we all universally turn at them and say 1980.
Right.
Wasn't
even born.
Somebody from Alabama will come in and we'll all universally turn and say, your life is so great that you need to come over here and hang out with us miserable people. Like, you just don't, nobody can talk trash to you, so leave us alone.
But isn't that weird, though, that any college football fan in the South, Tennessee, LSU, all of them would quickly go to 1980, and Georgia is whipping every single one of their asses in facilities and recruiting and everything.
All of them.
And listen, I'm aware of this. If they keep it going, you're not going to be able to stop it from happening. It may happen this year. 1980 may be a thing of the past this year, but if he keeps bringing in classes like he's bringing in,
eventually.
Dude, there's multiple big-time colleges whose best player transferred to them from Georgia. Like, you can make the argument that Florida's second best defensive player. I'm not just talking about Florida State. Florida's second, Brenton Cox.
Yeah, he was a 5-star.
From Georgia. South Carolina's best player, I think, is from Georgia. Like, and these are guys that weren't on the field. Like, that's
the craziest thing.
Unreal.
It's like, it's not even Cox so much, because he's doing well.
But he is. Yeah.
Johnson has, like, he's like one of the leaders in sacks in the NCAA. He wasn't playing if he would have stayed this year.
No.
Like, that's the scary part about when people are like, well, you can go beat Bama, but Bama didn't send their third best defensive end to Florida State, and now he's crushing the NCAA.
He's setting records.
Like, he's setting records. To me, in my head, I would be like,
that's a bigger flex than anything.
It reminds me of and LSU won the national championship in 2003, but I don't ever remember. Like, we were watching, we were getting ready to play Florida, and we were watching. Like, for some reason, we were watching LSU's defense, and they were doing stuff that at the time, like, now you see it more common. Nobody blitzed the safety from depth.
Yeah.
Like, I don't
really hard to pick up.
Think people forget that. It's hard you should not be able to sack the quarterback from depth.
I don't know when that dude runs what they run.
No, but what I'm saying is just
I got you.
It's just like one of the things I used to it was drilled in my head. Yeah. In college football, the hashes are too wide. Nobody blitzes the field corner.
Yep.
But they blitzed the field corner.
Yep.
And he said because you're
and then they zone drop the end.
Like you're not supposed to be able to do those things. So like I remember watching them and be like, oof. Sure glad we don't play those guys. Yeah. Like, not a fear thing. It's just like, damn, it would be a great challenge, but sometimes you're like, damn, that's a long night. Normally you're looking at, okay, like I got to kick out the defensive end all game, or I got to ISO the mic. Sometimes I'll hit the wheel. All right, damn, that defensive end is a badass. Okay, that's going to be rough. The mic ain't so bad. Okay, I know what I can do.
Yeah.
But I'm sitting there looking at that defense, and what sucks is like normally, okay, even if you're getting your ass whooped and get blown out, those guys go rest. But then it's the guys after that you got a whole bunch of film on too, and they're just as good as them.
It's unreal. It's like the quarterback position. Think about the zone blitz. Think about the zone drops. Think about like all that kind of stuff. I haven't looked at our ESPN thing. I'm gonna look real quick to see if this game. I'm sure this game's on the pick'em.
Should be.
And I want to see if Florida State's on the pick'em as well. If not, we need to talk that real quick. If it is, then we'll just make it part of this segment. So let me see.
Green Acres for us.
Well, I'm waiting to see if we need to talk. Florida's on here. Florida State is not. Okay, so we'll do this and then we'll talk about Florida State. Clemson. You can join us on the ESPN College Football Pick'em. Go to ESPN.com. Find the Sports Den group. You can join us there. It's brought to you by Green Acres. Make sure you get to greenacresporting.com for all of your Second Amendment needs. It's hunting season. That's where you need to go. If you need gear, don't go anywhere else. Like just heads up. Dick's doesn't sell guns anymore. Just quick heads up. So don't even go. Go to Green Acres.
People just stop putting that Dick sells it cheaper.
Yeah. Yeah. Yep. Go to the real person slinging sausage. Like, they ain't got no sausage at Dick's anymore.
They don't. Gun people.
Get to Green Acres.
Gun people trip me out.
Snooty ass gun people.
Like I'm sitting there, and what I was telling people is I haven't shot a gun in like 2.5 years, and
you got critiqued.
And yeah, but I'm also not worried about. It's not so much that I haven't shot a gun in 2 years. I'm trying to get comfortable holding guns that I've never shot. I've never shot before.
Yeah.
And this is the first time I've had anything but kickback since COVID. So I don't really know. I don't know how I'm going to spend.
You're not even sure about your base right now.
Like, so I'm just like, I'm hitting the target really good. I'm like, all right, feeling good about myself.
Let me post this.
The guys that I'm with, no guns. They didn't say anything to me. They were just like, man, listen, targets, what you hit, you know what would have happened? The target would have been neutralized. I was like, that's all I care about.
That's so awesome to say it that way too.
I'm not going out here trying to win. I'm not trying to win homecoming king, the prom king. I've already done that. I'm trying to shoot something. Man, I see these people come out and I'm like, man, shut up. Just like now I will say, and I got to go get Z to, I want to do some video with Z, but that 350, when you get the 357, put that in there. I don't know what it does when it hits something, but it sure is loud as hell. Like ain't nobody else coming in there to find out what it does. But
just get to Green Acres. They've got everything. They've got hunting, fishing, bows, whatever you need. They've got at Green Acres off of Normandy Boulevard. Great partners of ours, and you need to be shopping there. For the year, I'm 40-30.
Nice.
You're not gonna give me yours.
You have as many losses as I have wins.
Oh, really?
I'm 30-50 though. So
okay.
I have the one game.
Well, you can turn it around here. You can turn it around. It's a good week of college football, by the way. Michigan ranked 6th, taking on Michigan State. I think ESPN Game Days there is at Michigan State. Michigan State's ranked 8th, 7-0 versus 7-0. Michigan is favored by 4.5 on the road at Michigan State. It's a good game. Noon kick. I am going with Michigan in this.
I'm going to Michigan State.
I figured you would. You've been big on Michigan State all year. And Mel Tucker is doing an unbelievable job
right now. I don't know how it's going to help him with recruiting. Right now, he's on. This is resume building for him.
What, beating Michigan?
I don't think they're. I don't see him.
You remember how much money they gave him?
They gave him a lot.
They gave him a lot, yeah.
But USC, a couple of these other places have a lot of money too.
Yep, he's got a lot going for him. He's a good recruiter. He's well respected, well liked. Really good coach. But I'm going to take Michigan in that. Texas and Baylor. Texas is 4-3. Baylor is 6-1. This is at Baylor. Baylor favored by 2.5 in this one. Baylor ranked number 16. Where are you going?
I'm gonna go Baylor.
We're the opposite on both of them. I'm going Texas on this. I think Sark. I actually think Sark is the right guy. I just don't. He doesn't have the cats yet, but I got to believe he's got better guys than Baylor. So I'm going to go Texas on this. Iowa and Wisconsin. Another noon kick. 4-3 versus 6-1. Iowa is 6-1. This is another weird one. We saw this last week with two top 10 teams that were playing unranked teams that were the underdogs. And in both of them, the top 10 team won. I am going with Iowa because I hate this. Why is Wisconsin favored in this? Makes no sense to me.
Yeah, I don't either, but I'm going Iowa.
Okay. We'll come back to Florida, Georgia. Auburn, Ole Miss, 7:00 kick. Entertaining game. Number 10 versus number 18. Ole Miss 6-1. Auburn 5-2. It's at Auburn. I'm a Brian Harsin fan. I like what he's doing. If you look at Bo Nix's progression already this year, if he would have had Harsin the last 3 years, we may be talking about Bo Nix the way people thought we were going to talk about Bo Nix. He's gotten that much better. With all that being said, Ole Miss is a machine right now offensively. I don't see Auburn being able to keep up with them. I'm going to take Ole Miss.
Yep. You giving me 2 points too?
Yeah.
I'm going to take it.
Yeah. Kentucky and Mississippi State. 6-1 Kentucky at 4-3 Mississippi State. It's another weird line to me. Kentucky only favored by 1.5. What are you doing here?
Kentucky.
Me too.
That's basically me saying Kentucky's going to win.
Right. Yeah. I'm with you on that one. Number 19 and 7-0 SMU at 6-1 Houston. SMU is a ranked team that's an underdog in this. Houston is favored by 1.5. I don't know a lot about SMU and Houston. I can't think that the home field advantage makes that big of a difference at Houston. Maybe I'm wrong, but I'm taking SMU.
I'm going to go with Houston. I don't know why. I just believe that at some point, those schools that are like that, they got to lose one game.
Yeah.
That doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
And this is a competitive one. So
Penn State, Ohio State, great game. Nighttime at the Horseshoe at Ohio State. Ohio State lost early and has been rolling people ever since. CJ Stroud's having a great year. He made some throws the last couple of weeks. It's been unbelievable. Ohio State favored by a big number, though, 18.5.
Yeah.
Over 5-2, 20th ranked Penn State. What are you doing here? This is a tough one.
I don't want to take Ohio State, but I do know this, and I said this last week. Ohio State, or last couple of weeks, I believe. Ohio State, when they win, they have to punish people because that loss. Because I think when it comes down to it, it's going to be: are they going to take a Pac-12 winner? Or going to take the Big 10 winner,
or Cincinnati,
or Cincinnati? Something like, what does your resume show? If you can show that, okay, man, that was. Yeah, we lost that one game, but if we played them again, see how much points we score. They're not going to be able to do that. So I believe that's why they got to keep whooping ass.
Well, we're going to be opposite on this too. I'm going to be Penn State here.
And just James Franklin's also, again, another coach who's coaching for a job interview.
Yeah. The numbers a lot to me. That's the only reason why I say a game that BYU Virginia. BYU 25, ranked number 25, 6-2. Both teams are 6-2. It's at BYU. I watched Virginia last week because they played Georgia Tech and told you this. Like the quarterback a lot. I don't even know his name. I just know his number is 99. I need to find his name out because this kid's going to have a great career in the NFL. I'm going Virginia all day in this.
Yeah, I pick Virginia.
Fresno State, San Diego State. Fresno State 6-2. San Diego State 7-0. If you're up at 10:30, watch this game because these quarterbacks, you're going to see. You're going to see playing on Sundays. I'm taking Fresno State in this because I really like their guy. Really like their guy. So I'm going to take Fresno in this one.
Man, last time I went against San Diego State, didn't they win?
I
forgot.
I'm guessing on this. I have no idea what's going to happen in this game. I just know the quarterbacks are legit. Just got James.
I'm gonna go San Diego State.
Okay, San Diego State. All right, let's go back to Florida, Georgia, real quick. Florida, Georgia, 13.5-point line. Number one, Florida, unranked. Number one, Georgia, unranked Florida. This is a tough one, man, because these odds makers made that number perfect.
Mm-hmm.
Like touchdown, 2 field goals. It's you can win by 13 and blow somebody out. You can control a game and win by 13, and it can feel like it was a 24-point win.
Somebody can score late.
Right. I'm taking Florida in this one. I don't think Florida's defense is that bad. I think LSU last year and this year pose a schematical issue to them. And there is a difference in the way they run the ball and Georgia runs the ball. LSU spreads you out to run. Georgia kind of pins you in and runs power at you. LSU runs the same thing, but it's just a little wider. I think Florida can keep this one close. I don't think Florida's going to win, but I think Florida can keep this one close, and I think it will be a good game.
I think it'll be a good game. But I'm gonna go Georgia.
You think they cover?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think they're 2 touchdowns better.
And it's not on here. What is the spread for
10.
Clemson? 10?
Last time I saw it was 10.
Clemson favored by 10?
Mm-hmm.
There's no way. I would take Florida State all day in that. Do you think Florida State's going to – obviously, you're going to take Florida State in 10, right?
Yes. The only reason why is Clemson hasn't scored over 20, I believe it was 21 points, except for one game, and that was against South Carolina State. So that's just me. Florida State has obviously lost to a 1AA school, but they're a much different team. Actually, it's 9.5 now. Went down.
I don't think Florida State wins, but I much like Florida, I think this is a good game. What I said earlier in the week, I think is going to haunt Florida State a little bit. They've had to prep for 2 quarterbacks. Sometimes when a guy like DJ is ultra talented gets benched, you kind of start back from square one. You find what he likes to do. You're not going to keep him on the bench. He's too talented to keep on the bench. But you may dumb it down a little bit and you may get back to the basics. And sometimes you can be explosive that way. So I think Clemson wins.
You put a lot on the quarterback, but I don't get this Clemson team in general. They don't do anything well.
No, the offensive line's bad.
And I think this is a game where a guy like Johnson knows it. And Keir Thomas, who are both guys who will probably get drafted next year, know that I don't care what the logo means something. Mm-hmm. And we've seen these guys be able to rise to the occasion against pretty stiff competition. So if you don't run the ball well, which is really what they struggle, Florida State struggles with more, because now that they have some D linemen that can get to the quarterback, teams are having to get rid of it quicker. Mm-hmm. So it's not like they're just getting 8 like that as much outside of the I'm talking about as of late. But you don't run the ball very well. And I do believe Clemson will get their big plays. I think it's going to be the first team to score 24 points wins in a game where both teams still struggle to do that. And the same thing goes for Florida State, but different. We didn't see much with Jordan Travis because they went 5 for 10. I think he only had so many plays, but he's getting more confident every week. because he doesn't have to look for the first time in his career. He doesn't have to look over his shoulder, which is the only question. Like if we get a chance to go back and do like the thing we were talking about, like the cribs version of facilities. I mean, I ask him on camera because I want a real answer. Like knowing what you knew, why did you almost sacrifice the season for that? Because Florida State could easily be, were there 3 and 4?
You want to ask Jordan Travis this?
No.
Oh.
I want to ask Mike.
I got you. Yeah.
Because you could be 5-2, and the season can be completely different. Your outlook could be completely different. I don't believe you beat Wake Forest either way.
Right.
I do believe you could beat Louisville. I do believe you
wouldn't have beat Notre Dame.
No. Because the Notre Dame game that happened. You needed to stop on defense for the Notre Dame game to happen. And it was just a great game. You played above what you were thinking. But what Jordan Travis does with the zone read, and me and Freddie Stevenson were talking about this, is so hard to defend because there was a play I legit thought the running back had the ball and he got blown up. And I was like, such a stupid, whoa. Jordan Travis is on the other side.
Yeah.
And that's hard. And much like with quarterbacks, when Joshua Corbin is in, powerful back that does have a gear. When Trayshawn Ward is in, shifty back, doesn't necessarily have breakaway speed, but has elite vision. Reminds me more of Devonta Freeman. And people said put too much on him. Somebody said Dalvin Cook. I'm like, hey, you're overcooking your grits right there. Now let's just chill out. But I think with those guys and wide receivers like Terry Wilson getting some confidence, Keyshawn Helton getting confidence, and these guys don't have to work. Because we've talked about this on our show before. Yeah, it's your job to catch, but it's different catching the ball from a midget and catching it from a giant. The ball is coming up or the ball is coming down. And I think these guys built a rapport and had been used to Jordan Travis to where now you get, there's still no excuse for some of the plays they missed. But I just think it's
So you think they win? You think Florida State win?
I picked them to lose.
So you're picking Clemson.
I picked Clemson. But that's me being objective and trying to be a journalist.
Well, to be fair, you're also looking at logos in recent history.
Yeah. But right now,
you can't help but do that.
My heart tells me that I could legitimately be looking at my TV screen at 7:00 and seeing Florida State win.
I'll tell you this. Here's the danger for y'all. Mike Norvell can't get blown out of this game. You can't go backwards.
No.
You cannot go backwards. And I'm not suggesting a moral victory, but a 3-point loss keeps you on the right track.
Without a doubt.
But you cannot lose by 20.
This is why I said, I said again, it has nothing to do with my like or dislike of Mike Norvell. Like that has the only thing I'm loyal to is the brand that I played for. And even then I got to be open and honest about what I see. But again, why I want to ask him is because the difference is you could be in a situation where you can, you could get blown out. You shouldn't, but if you were 5-2, but right now, the one thing that you have sold recruits on is that it's different. Watch what was going to happen when we get, you did a terrible job of selling that the first 4 games. The last 3 games, you can legitimately look at it and be like, oh, okay. This does look like, is this what the offense looks like? Ooh, if I'm Duffy or if I'm another quarterback, I'm like, man, ooh. Imagine what happens when the guy he actually recruits, gets in there. Yeah. A running back. Wow, this is what he can do with the running backs. Wide receiver, man, these guys aren't getting separation. I can't wait to get in there. You can sell somebody on that. But if you get blown out to a team that hasn't blown anybody out but a 1AA school, maybe they are the team that lost to Jacksonville State. And maybe they just, these other 3 games was them just catching lightning in a bottle.
Well, you beat North Carolina last year, and then you ended on it with a thud. You just can't let that happen again. You can't have a high and then your low be so low. Like you're gonna have to level out at some point. Pitt beats Miami. I'm not even gonna spend any time on that. Like Pitt beat. I don't even know what the spread is, but they cover.
All right. I'm going to, we're about to end the show, right?
Yeah.
All right. I'm going to end the show, and I'm going to say this. I'm going to make this prediction because all the times he's done this, he's been right. I should have done it last year.
Okay.
Last year, he said the first play of the game was going to be a flea flicker. The first play of the game, Georgia, Florida, both quarterbacks will be in.
For Florida.
For Florida.
So that, you know what, man.
No, I'm just saying this. It might not happen. I'm just saying that I'm putting this prediction out there because he hasn't been wrong yet.
It's smart because then it's like they both started.
That's true. That's true.
Like,
you know
the
what?
whole question all week is who's starting.
That's true. Like, you know what? That's wild.
And now you can't be wrong. It's like, they both started.
That's
no,
crazy.
Dan, you're not getting away with it. Whoever catches the snap started. Okay? If you put Ant out at slot, he did not start at quarterback, Dan. Jeez.
No, okay. You know what he's gonna do?
You're gonna be right.
You know what he's gonna do now?
Watch this. You're gonna be
He's
right.
gonna listen. He's like, you know what? That damn Denny is right. Ant, you're gonna be on the left, splitting the guard in the center. Emery, you're gonna be on the right.
Y'all fight
splitting
for it.
the guard in the center. Center, you snap the ball right down the middle. Whoever catches it, you got the first
He's
start.
gonna do some I-9 shit where it's like, like somebody else catches a snap, the running back catches it, hands it off to Emery, who does an option with Ant, and then Ant throws.
That would be it. That would be crazy. Is the Del Rio kid is this class, right? Or is that last class?
Carlos? He was last class.
Oh, that's it right there. All three quarterbacks going to play.
That's awesome. Happy Florida Georgia week to everybody. Have a good time. Be safe. Please be safe. We know it's fun and we know it's Halloween, but be safe out there. We don't have that many listeners. We can't afford to lose any. We didn't even talk about the Jags, but we'll talk about them next week.
Yeah.
If
they win, we'll talk about them very good. If they lose,
all right, we probably won't talk about them at all. All right, y'all have a good weekend. Thank you guys for listening. Share. Tell your peeps about this. We appreciate you.